of India's freedom struggle. The Revolt of 1857 brought an end to the rule of the East India Company in India. Soon after, the country came under the direct rule of the British government. Lord Canning was appointed the Viceroy to carry out the administrative duties on behalf of the Crown. The 1857 revolt was entirely crushed by the British. The British government took over the administration of India. This was a huge blow to the Indians, and they realized the need to unite in their fight for freedom. Movement of social reforms.
The British introduced Western education in India. Indian society was ridden with social evils like caste and gender discrimination, female infanticide, Sati and child marriage. With Western education came increased awareness and a progressive attitude in the Indians. Raja Ram Mohan Roy worked towards eradicating unfair and unjust social customs like Sati and child marriage. He fought for women's rights to inherit and hold property. It was due to his efforts that the British government enacted a law in 1829 abolishing Sati. Swami Dayanand Saraswati was a social thinker who opposed customs like caste discrimination, child marriage, and idol worship, as well as blind faith and superstitions. He founded the Arya Samaj, meaning a noble society, in 1875 to spread awareness about the need to destroy social evils in order to create a noble society. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a social reformer and academician who worked relentlessly for the empowerment of women. Vidyasagar also proposed the Widow Remarriage Act 15th, 1856, which gave women another chance to live their life with dignity. He also encouraged women's education. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan worked hard for the progress and upliftment of the Muslim community. He convinced them that Western education was important for the progress of the Muslim community. He founded the Aligarh Muslim University and insisted on education for women as well.
Indian National Congress, INC.
In 1885, a retired British officer, A.O. Hume, and many Indian leaders came together to form the Indian National Congress, that is, INC. The first session of INC was held at Mumbai in December 1885 and was attended by 73 delegates. Congress leaders like Dadabhai Nauroji and Gopal Krishna Gokhale stood for the hopes and dreams of the Indian masses. The demands made by these leaders were simple, like representation in the government, equal treatment in the army, and civil services, etc. These demands were expressed through peaceful means, and the leaders were thus called moderates. On the other hand, leaders like Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandra Pal were regarded as extremists because of their overall aggressive stand. the Lal Bal Pal trio believed that India must achieve Swarajya or self-rule and not be ruled by anyone. Other prominent leaders during the freedom struggle included Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and Vallabhbhai Patel.
Moderate and extremist groups. In the early phase of the INC, the moderates were in charge of both demands of the party as well as the execution of its action program. Moderates such as Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Dadabhai Nauroji, and W.C. Banerjee believed in constitutional methods to bring about social reforms. They would, therefore, make appeals and send petitions to the government to put forth their demands. This approach, however, was not successful, since all their demands were consistently turned down by the British. Some younger members of the Congress, like Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandra Pal, were unhappy about this approach. These were called the extremists because of the stand they took. According to them, a national movement could become successful only through a firm, strong, and aggressive approach to get their demands fulfilled. They felt that the people had to secure their rights by fighting and by being organized. Through his newspapers, Kesari and Maratha, Lokmanya Tilak reached out to the common people and made them aware of their rights. He declared, "Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it." He also encouraged the people to celebrate Indian festivals like Sarvajanik community celebrations, Ganesh Utsav, and Shivaji Jayanti, birth anniversary of Chhatrapati Shivaji, to foster brotherhood and bring about pride for the country among the Indian people. The Partition of Bengal, divide and rule policy of the British. The increasing unity among the Indian people made the British feel very insecure. They started using various tactics to bring about hatred and discord among the countrymen. One of these was that of divide and rule. With a view to create more tension among the Indian people, the British adopted the policy of divide and rule on the Hindu and Muslim population in Bengal. In 1905, Lord Curzon announced the partition of Bengal into East Bengal for the Muslims and West Bengal for the Hindus. The reason stated was better administration of the two partitioned provinces. The people, however, were well aware that the real reason behind this was to divide them on the basis of their religion. The Indians were naturally outraged at this and strongly opposed the move. They all came out with one voice and Vande Mataram as the national cry. the British were forced to reunite Bengal in 1911 because of this united retaliation of the people. The Swadeshi Movement and its impact.
The extremists came forward and launched the Swadeshi Movement, urging the people to use only indigenous goods, that is, made in one's own country, and called for a total boycott of foreign goods. Slowly, Khadi and the charkha became strong symbols of nationalism. People openly burned foreign goods to express their anger.
This movement swept the country and all Indians pledged to use only indigenously made or Swadeshi goods. The Swadeshi movement also helped the revival of the domestic industry, creating Indian-made products. During the First World War in 1914, Indian soldiers sided with the British and fought bravely. In return, they got no rewards, but instead the British imposed more taxes on them. This too added to the displeasure of the people. After the death of Lokmanya Tilak in 1920, the reins of the national movement passed on to Mahatma Gandhi.
The period from 1920 to 1947 had been described as the Gandhian era, when Mahatma Gandhi led the national freedom struggle against the British rule. He showed a new path to the freedom struggle through truth, non-violence and satyagraha. On the platform of the National Congress, Mahatma Gandhi opposed the British policies through the non-cooperation movement, the civil disobedience movement, and the Quit India movement.